Good evening, my friends. It's Steve with Real Progressives. We're going to touch on the student debt relief plan that came out of Levy Institute from Dr. Stephanie Kelton, Scott Fulweiler, and Marshall Auerbach and others. This is going to be a very important discussion. I was going to take some time here and consider the implications of my next words, because I don't want to alienate anyone. But I feel like I've put an incredible amount of effort into getting the word out to the Green Party in particular about modern monetary theory. We sent Rohan Gray of the Modern Money Network out to Minnesota to their democracy convention to demonstrate to the Green Party MMT, modern monetary theory. And I went to their national meeting in New Jersey over the summer, where I broke out and explained in great detail modern monetary theory and how it would empower a Green New Deal. We have been rebuffed by many of the old guard Green Party. They have basically told us we were pontificating. They wanted to try to conflate what we were saying and try to make the American Monetary Institute gibberish, somehow or another compatible with MMT. It's not. And we have fought tooth and nail at the local level with varying groups, from the Nebraska Green Party, who has supported MMT, to the Pennsylvania Green Party, which actually asked me to run for Senate on an MMT platform. And there are other Greens, many young Greens that are coming up that understand that without MMT, there is no Green New Deal. However, the Green Party, basically, the leadership ignored my presentation at the national meeting. None of them showed up at the meeting. It was almost like an intentional snub. And then as we went further into it, other people took it and ran with it. Other people said, we're going to try and make this work. So guys like Shane Fry in Nebraska have been pushing the rewrite of the Green Party's Section M of their platform, which basically is right-wing nonsense that talks about eliminating the national debt, how the national debt is such a burden, and so forth. Well, the Green Party is still stuck in trying to raise taxes to pay for things. They're still stuck in really, really bad neoliberal economics. And because they're stuck in that, I saw them as having the closest platform to what a progressive could ride on. I saw them as being a really, truly viable option for people to really take their progressive values and advance them. However, the Green Party has shunned that repeatedly, acted like we were not telling the truth, literally trolled us to death. The guy, Howard Schweitzer, who is the big name over there that handles their economics, ran around saying that we were full of shit. Now, here's the problem. Now, all of a sudden, this study comes out of Levy Institute, which is modern monetary theory. It is not AMI. There's nothing about it that's AMI. AMI and MMT are not one and the same. In fact, they're not even close to one and the same. AMI worries about the national debt, pretends like we don't have a sovereign currency. It is conspiracy gibberish. But I have seen many of these same leaders that told me I was pontificating and told me that, my MMT stuff was cultish and other gibberish like that. They're now putting that article out there and saying, hey, you need to vote for the Green Party so you can get rid of student debt. Now, the Green Party stood tall and put student debt elimination as part of their platform, which is a fantastic thing. And I support and I applaud the Green Party for taking that step. To make it part of their platform is a really big deal. But if you can't figure out how to actually pay for it. If you're going to say that we're going to do quantitative easing for the 99%, which is, folks, I'm telling you right now, I support eliminating student debt, and I have pulled hard for the Green Party, and I fought to educate the Green Party. At great personal expense, I've tried to educate the Green Party. And many of their people have absolutely stood up and taken this and said, we need MMT in our platform. But that old guard has stood in the way and folded its arms and said, they're just pontificating. Those MMTers, they're just pontificating. Well, the fact is that now those same people saying we pontificated are putting the article out from Levy Institute to celebrate student debt elimination and saying, hey, if you want this, you should vote for the Green Party. Well, here's my problem to the Green Party, and this is not an insignificant problem. Green Party, when are you getting rid of Section M of your national platform that talks right-wing nonsense about the national debt? When are you getting rid of that? When are you kicking AMI out the door and starting to embrace the truth of MMT so that you can actually take that article you're waving around, and it's a damn good article, by the way, and it's a damn good study, but it's all MMT. It's not AMI. You can't get there from AMI. So every time you talk about student debt relief with AMI as your backing, you're not telling the truth. You're literally not telling them the truth. You can't get there from AMI, but you can get there from MMT, which is why you're waving this around. But until you say AMI goodbye, until you kick that nonsense out the door, and until you embrace and make your platform state it clearly that you support MMT and that you will no longer peddle conspiracy myths of AMI, you will get rid of all conspiracies from AMI and you will embrace truth. Until you do that, you're not getting rid of student debt. And don't go running around saying that now that this report's out that it supports you. That's not true. That's a lie. I want you to do that. I want that report to be able to support you. I'm pulling for you. But until you get rid of your conspiracy-laden gibberish from the American Monetary Institute, until you stop pretending like you've got economics figured out when you clearly don't. Clearly don't. Don't wave that thing around like you guys have been there all along, because you haven't. You've been out there selling snake oil and AMI, and your economics has been putrid. You got great policy positions, but then again, the progressive movement has always had great policy prescriptions. The problem has always been we could never answer the question how we're going to pay for it. Even now, your platform talks about raising taxes to pay for stuff, which is, once again, a lie. It's economically unsound and economically illiterate. You guys have a tremendous opportunity to bring millennials in and people, older students who literally went crazy bankrupt trying to get through the great financial crisis by taking on incredible amounts of student debt. You have an opportunity to rise up and be part of the change by embracing the economics that actually do that. But until you do that, you can't get there from here. Now, I've talked to many people in the Green Party. I've had private conversations with them, which I won't share here, because I still hope that they will embrace the truth without being called out. They know who they are. And they have stated, sadly, that they think MMT is pontificating. They have stated that the MMTers are pontificators. Well, what MMTers are is people that actually understand how the economic system works and are fighting tooth and nail so that people understand it, so that they can make things like student debt elimination happen. It's not pontificating. It's called understanding and trying to teach. If the concern of the Green Party is tone of voice, please don't support Black Lives Matter, because they're fighting tooth and nail for people that are literally dying in the streets. So it can't be about tone. And don't talk about people fighting for inequality, because they use different tone too when they're screaming about fascists. We all use different tones when we realize there's an injustice that has been performed. And when you understand how the economic system works by learning MMT, you will also be indignant when you see economic lies told that are killing people. When you realize that death follows economic illiteracy, you'll be indignant too. Because there's nothing dignifying about unnecessary death. And there's nothing dignifying about students leaving college with a mortgage worth of college debt on their backs before they get their first job. So, Green Party, I'm talking to you directly. You guys have a great platform, but you don't have your economic house in order. Until you do that, until you do overtly and loudly and proudly embrace modern monetary theory and cast aside your American Monetary Institute gibberish, you're never going to be able to give them, us as Americans, student debt relief. I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progressives, hoping the Green Party steps up and does the right thing and gets rid of AMI and embraces modern monetary theory. Have a good night.